Well, hi there, everyone, and welcome to the VIP Trade Room with Roger Scott and Matt Horton. Today is Thursday, February 19th, and my name is Raleigh White, and I'm coming to you live from a beautiful day here in Austin, Texas, and I'm going to be your moderator today. Now, in today's session, Roger is going to be covering a range of important topics with a continued focus on day trading the SPY. And in today's session, he's going to begin by giving us a midday market analysis and his updated large cap stock watch list. Then we're going to pivot and he's going to talk about how he draws the daily levels and which ones are the most powerful. He's also going to talk about when to fade a trend and to when to stay with a trend. Also, when it's good to seek confirmation or to trade on anticipation, and why the daily chart is crucial for intraday swings. And then finally, folks, how to use overnight data to day trade SPY options. So we've got a great agenda, and I'm excited about this for you. Now, if you've got any questions during Roger's presentation, please type them in the chat window and we will address them periodically throughout the session so as to not interfere with Roger's presentation. And remember, folks, that the chat is open to everyone and we do have some ground rules. Always be kind and supportive in your posts. Please keep to the topic. No political discussions allowed whatsoever. And also, folks, keep your side conversations between one or two to a minimum. This is not a general chat room, folks. This is an area where we have all come together to focus on the education and the information that Roger is sharing, because after all, he's here to give us an edge in the market and to help us all become much more confident and consistent in our trading activities. Now, for those of you that were with us this morning at 8 o'clock for Roger's Must Watch Market Open, you'll note that there were several catalysts on tap that we needed to be aware of. In the mags, we noted that Tesla and Meta were both down about 1% coming into the open. On the consumer front, we saw that Carvana was down 16%, but DoorDash was up 10%, and Walmart was getting ready to release their earnings before market open. On the industrial and utility front, we noted that DE and SO were both going to be releasing their earnings before market opened. On the healthcare front, we noted that FTRS would be also releasing their earnings before market open. On the Fed front, we have a lot of activity today. We had international trade data coming out, which pointed to our deficit situation. We had jobless claims being posted. We had the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index releasing their information. We also had retail and wholesale sales data coming out, as well as pending home sales and leading indicators, and concluding with two FOMC speakers today. So a lot on the Fed front. Now, for those of you that are wondering, why do we even focus on these catalysts and what is this all about? Well, from Roger's standpoint, if there's information that's either known or will become known during today's trading session, but is not yet priced into the market, that makes these volatility flashpoints. So, for example, it might be helpful if we're looking at maybe trading an industrial stock or utility stock to wait until DE and SO have released their earnings. Once again, that could prevent us from, making a trade that works out against us. Also, I want to point out that anytime that we list a ticker, like DE or Carvana, for example, or VTRS, these are S&P 500 stocks. They're the ones we focus on. There's a lot of companies releasing earnings, but the ones that are catalysts, in our opinion, are S&P 500 stocks that either have earnings that are coming out, or if we see a movement in the stock of 1% or more. That's the criteria that we look at. Now, as far as Rogers pre-market stock watch list is concerned, these are large cap stocks, and we'll note that today he gave us 20 tickers, and interestingly enough, only four tickers to the short side. And he shared with you why. He brought up his scanner that basically looks for those major stocks that are moving to the short side, and the only ones that he would consider are these four that we see here. There were just very few from that standpoint. As far as the longs are concerned, there were 16 tickers that he is watching. And notice the WDC has an asterisk here. This means that this is setting up to be a nice A-line alert. Now, folks, I want to let you know that these are all legitimate tickers that Rogers identified as things that are on his watch list. It does not mean that you should automatically trade these stocks. It means that if they're on the watch list and they have the potential to be stocks that he might trade. And if any of these tickers meet his strict criteria for what he's looking for, more than likely he will take the trade and then post it in the trading pit or in any of his other premium alert services. Now, as far as Roger's pre-market thoughts were concerned, well, we noted that the futures markets were all moving lower coming into the open. We did see that the put call ratio was back in balance, once again, not favoring calls or puts, but we did see that the VIX is moving higher and is sitting right there at that key 20 level. Roger's hopeful that that's going to do a reverse and move lower today. Hard to say, but that's what he's hoping for. As far as momentum is concerned, we note that there's a large number of companies that are making 52-week highs and significantly outputting those that are making lows. So as far as the momentum in the market's
Yeah,
concerned, it's favorable, okay, from that standpoint. Now, as far as sector rotation is concerned, we continue to see that, defensive stocks are being favored, and particularly when you look at energy and utilities occupying the top spots. But we do see some of the speculative stocks sectors starting to move up, but we can't really call that a rotation quite yet. As far as the bonds are concerned, they were basically moving lower, coming off their extreme highs, which was largely driven by flight to quality, okay, flight to safety, but they were moving lower. We also noted that the SPY, the QQQ, and the MAGs were all just moving sideways, consolidating, and really kind of stuck between key resistance and support. And, Roger, once again, is hopeful that we're going to see a move higher. Bottom line, he's cautiously optimistic about what he sees in the market. His biggest concern is not that there's going to be a move to the downside, it's just that the markets are going to be choppy. And when they're choppy like they are right now, they can be definitely difficult to trade. So once again, optimistic, doesn't see a big downside move, but was worried about choppiness. So we want to thank you all for coming today. We've got a great group of people here in the room, as we always do. Roger's built a fantastic community here. We're all supportive. We're all friends. We're all here to help each other and to become more confident and consistent in our trading. I think we do a good job of that. And as far as today's agenda is concerned, you'll note that Roger's going to, continuing focused on day trading the SPY. It's been a very popular topic this week, and we want to continue this. We get a lot of questions about it, and we want to address them. But he's going to start with a midday market analysis, and he's going to share with us his updated watch list. And then we're going to pivot. He's going to talk about how he draws those daily levels in the indexes and which levels are the most powerful you need to pay attention to. He's also going to talk about when to fade a trend and when to stay in it and when to stay in a trend. Something also that's important is that when you're looking at an opportunity, when do you really need to seek confirmation? Or when is it okay to trade on anticipation? He's going to share with us why the daily chart is crucial for intraday swings and how to use overnight data to day trade SPY options. Now, if you've got any questions during Roger's presentation, please type them in the chat window and we'll address them periodically throughout the session so as to not interfere with Roger's presentation. And remember, folks, that the chat is open to everyone and we do have some ground rules. Always be kind and supportive in your posts, okay? Please keep to the topic. No political discussions allowed, and keep your side conversations to a minimum, folks. All it does is interfere with the rest of us that are looking to focus on the education and the information that Roger's sharing, because after all, he's here to give us an edge in the market and to help us all become much more confident and consistent in our trading activities. And with that, boy, let's introduce and welcome the team to the room. Roger, it's wonderful to see you. Matt, I know you're there in the background. Good to see
yeah,
you
I'm
as
here.
well. But man, Roger, you posted it, you called it. Your biggest concern today was chop suey, and that's
That's
what we've
right.
been dealing with.
Exactly right. Chop suey. I'm telling you, that's a good name for today for the current market environment. And see, the problem is a lot of folks don't understand that stocks, especially large cap stocks, mostly large cap stocks, they're very correlated they're very correlated to the market, which means if the market is doing chop suey, that means guess what? Your favorite stock is going to be doing chop suey. And why would you want? What's the point of buying? So you don't want to be sitting in 10 options right now that have 2 weeks to go till expiration and have each of those options just decay. I mean, it's not going to do you any good. So be careful. Be careful of gurus who are just issuing trades right now. Uh, you can't. That pedal has to be very sensitive to when you can leverage it. Sometimes we can have 2, 3 trades a day, and sometimes we're like, whoa, 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 whoa. There's nothing moving right now. I mean, look at this here. This is the S&P 500 right now on a daily. You're pinched between the 50 and the 100. We tried to get above the 8-day. We couldn't do it. We never got to the 50-day, and we never got above it. So as far as I'm concerned, we're in twilight zone right now. This is not a trader's market right now. See this right here? When you have a bar like that, that's a trader's market. That's a trader's market. You can have some nice moves on days like that. But on days like this, when you're inside a range, it's telling you that all your stocks are going to be doing this. Like if you're making money on stocks today, that's fantastic because this is very difficult intraday market. And if you look intraday, this is what you have. I mean, we just started trending. Matt, you were right, except you were wrong on the direction. We did start trending,
Yep.
but we just started trending down, not up. And I don't even know if you want to call this a trend. I mean, look how overlapping all these candles are.
We did move a little bit though.
Yeah, we did move. After like how many hours? I mean, we basically didn't go anywhere for a while, and then we now moved down another level. Let's see if we're going to recover it or not. But again, this is a very, very, very choppy market. I mean, I'll give you a short scalp right now to the downside. That could have worked 20 minutes maybe, but there's not much happening here. This is not a high flying market. And if you look at market internals, I'm sharing my screen, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. And if you could see right here, that the ADD is negative 600. We're not negative 1,000. We're not negative 1,200. Negative 600 is nothing crazy. And the Vold, as you could see, it's going sideways. Now it's going down. Now it's going side. This is not a trending Vold. So to me, and Tick, we really haven't hit to anything really below 700 or above. So this is pretty equal to me. The biggest concern I have is the volatility index. This is my biggest concern right here. If volatility breaks the high, I don't want to see it break the high. And I'll show you what I'm talking about so you can get a good idea. I actually thought that today we can have another backup run day to yesterday, but if I didn't, I would have. I had a micron position. I would have liquidated it, but I did not. But we're just kind of going sideways right now. But this is what I wanted to show you. This will give you some reference because I used this in the morning. We want to be really careful that we don't go back above this level. And for now, we're just kind of sitting inside our range. Here. You can see it here. What I want to see is I want this right here to trade down here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to see. I want to see this come down to here. Okay. But again, we got a very, very choppy market. And again, with ADD, let me see what mags are doing today. Mags are not doing anything. They're literally flat. So that means this is really accurate. When mags are not giving us any movement, this becomes that much more accurate because this is based on the number of stocks. You can have the market down and this will be flat. And then you look at the mags are down 2%. You're like, okay, I got it. But in this case, this is equalizing all the stocks. This is just number of stocks. And, you need this number to be below 1,000. This is not really bearish. This is choppiness. This is lazy This is just lazy choppiness. To be honest with you, the market's putting me to sleep today. And I'm not lying or joking or messing around. I'm literally, it's putting me to, I mean, I'm looking at price action and I'm like, man, this is just underwater basket weaving. This is a day, you know how they say cash is a position?
Hmm.
Well, today cash is a really big, it's a huge position. Okay. So I don't have the chat open. I'll open them up a little later, but I want to say hello to everybody. Thank you for being here. And let's proceed. Now, as far as levels, let me just give you trading levels real quick. Um, Let me move this back here. Okay,
Roger, one thing I can comment on is some people made out pretty well with Dash today, made some money on GE, on a scalping trade. And so,
yeah,
once again, I think they're being cautious with what's going on. And a
yeah. I mean,
number of people have said, look, sitting on your hands is not a bad position.
no, 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 no. I mean, Dash kind of, yeah. I mean, you could. There was definitely money. There's volatility there. I mean, if you want to
Yep.
scalp, that's great. And what was that? GE. I like GE. GE
Yep.
is actually one of the few positions that I like. I actually like it right now off the VWAP. Think it's going to come up right back up here. So I think there's like maybe $1.50, $2 in. And if it breaks the VWAP right here, if you're scalping, you can just get out right here. Anyway, that's not a bad scalp. I like GE. I like GE. One of the few stocks that's actually trending today. And it happens to be on my watch list. So let's start off by me giving you my analysis for the market. So right now we're again between the 50-day and the 100-day. We're sitting at the bottom of the levels that I drew for you in the morning. This is the second time we're at those levels. If we break below those levels, the next level is going to be right here, right there, in that little vicinity right there. Let me just move this. Hold on. Oh, this thing is very slippery. Very slippery, very slippery. Forget it. It's right. It's. You could see it. It's right over here. I could use this, I guess, if I really wanted to. Anyways, um, right here, and that's the 682.11. I mean, I got what I needed out of it. 682.11 right here. So, but if we defend this level, you're in the chop, and if we stay in this chop, I'm probably not going to be changing the levels for tomorrow either because they're today. Look at this.
Hmm.
So far, so good, right?
Oh, yeah.
Here, 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 here. I mean, these levels are holding fantastic. So let's see if we break or if not. Based on market internals, it does not look like we want to break, especially after sitting here for 3 or 4 times, or maybe break and then come right back up here. But I think we want to stay in this area for now. I think that's the case. Although, honestly, I don't like where this is looking or this is heading at all. And I am so glad that that Matt and I have been so picky with our positions in terms of being very slow to give you positions. And in the pit, man, I this is the slowest, Raleigh. I'm slower right now in the pit than I've been during a holiday,
Yeah.
and
And
I'm
it's not
proud.
surprising, Roger. Look what the spy's
Yes,
doing. It's not going
yes,
to,
yes, yeah. I'm very happy to, and I'm happy, and I'm proud of that. That's a good thing. That's a good
right.
thing.
Yep.
I'm not saying that in because I'm disappointed. I'm looking at the market action. I'm saying I could see why I'm doing that. I mean, this is just. I mean, this is what you want to see. Moves. You want to see moves. You want to see follow through. This is just garbage. Okay. Um, Mags. Mags so far are holding the 200. Actually holding it just fine. I mean, we can see it right here. That's the 200. We're holding it. We're above it. And when we tried to break it, we had a high volume candle and we went back up. Now remember, there's two ways this can go after a big move like this, right? We can have a V bounce recovery or we can consolidate. The longer we consolidate, the worse it is for the bulls. Okay. The worse it is for the bulls if we consolidate. Because if we consolidate here, that means the buyers and the sellers, they're coming to an agreement right here on the price. There's no major disagreement. When you have disagreement, you have a Yelta conference, you have this. But this is just them being, okay, price is here. Okay, we'll buy and sell. So it's not in a hurry to jump up. And the longer price becomes comfortable here, You know, when you become comfortable, you don't want to change anything. Well, same thing with price. It doesn't want to change anything. So I'm just letting you know right now, I'm happy that I'm seeing this, that we're above the 200. But if we just consolidate here, it's going to look like Amazon, you know, like this. And then just don't go anywhere. And then what that's telling us is that price is I'm not really talking about Amazon. I'm just showing about price. That price is very comfortable here. It's very comfortable. That's not a good thing for Amazon. Speaking of Amazon. And then on the QQQ, we're just kind of hovering around between the 100 and the 200. This is not okay. So institutions, if I'm an institutional trader and I look at this chart right now, I would not want to go long. My job would be in jeopardy if I went long right now. If I went long here, my job would not be in jeopardy. People like to protect their butts, you see? And if I buy here, then obviously I'm buying when the market's making new high. I mean, you know. So right now we're below. So my boss can come to me and say, if I have a loss, and say, hey, why are you buying while we're below the 100-day moving average? You're not supposed to buy till you're above the 50-day.
Mm-hmm.
You're not buying. That could be a problem. So I'm just telling you, this is what institutions are thinking right now. Institutions are looking at this and saying, the market's not going anywhere. There's a better place to put our money than right now. And yes, that's how they think. That is how they think.
Mm-hmm. And that's logical when you have that much money on the line. And to that point, Roger, several people were wondering, Roger, is this a time to consider shorting the market or buying the VIX, or is it too early to even think about that?
Nah, we're not. We're nowhere near. As a matter of fact, I like how the VIX is moving to the downside. I personally think we're going to consolidate here. Okay, so I'll tell you what I think. Okay, I'm going to tell you my opinion. Now, when most people tell you their opinion, they make it sound like it's the Bible, like it's coming from the Bible. You know what I mean? Like it's written in stone.
It's fact.
It's not. This is an opinion. I'm giving you my opinion. My opinion. I'm entitled to an opinion. Okay. These are not. I don't have any inside information. But my theory is that the markets are waiting to see if tomorrow we're going to have that tariff decision, because the Supreme Court is going to rule on something tomorrow, and it might be that. I think that if they don't rule on it tomorrow, or they do rule on it tomorrow, the markets will move either way, because the market is just looking for. Because that's what happened last time. We started moving sideways, and then the retail and other stocks that were really impacted by the tariffs, they started moving up, and then we heard no decision today, and then they just fell off. So one way or the other, I think we're going to get movement, but I think we need that. So I think there's two things right now that are really distorting us. I think it's that. I think it's the whole, are we going to have the tariff decision tomorrow? And on top of that, I think it's the Iran,
saber
Iran.
rattling. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Because when that happens, folks tend to put their money more in like basic materials, energy stocks. That becomes in play. So we don't really have the speculative stuff in play right now, and that's unfortunate. But again, I think it's a combination of those two things. But that's just my opinion. And the truth of here's the funny thing is, whether that is my opinion or not would not make any difference to how I trade this market. You understand? The price action is telling me how I'm trading this market. My opinion means nothing. It means nothing. It means zero. I will go back on my opinion in less than 10 seconds if I can get movement out of this market.
Mm-hmm.
That's how flexible you have to be. So yeah, this is just what I think. You know, I was watching a guru yesterday. No, 2 days ago, I was watching a guru. I'm not going to give any names. And this guy was talking about the gold market. Matt knows who I'm talking about. And this guy was talking about the gold market like he had opinions, very strong opinions, but he was talking about it like it was a done deal. Like it was like, how could it be anything else than that? Like, and I'm thinking to myself, man, you got people listening to you, and these people could be actually placing trades based on you, and you're not really saying, hey, this is just my opinion. And it's like, wow. So folks, be careful. Nobody can predict the future, even though they're making a really good argument that they can, okay? Nobody can predict the future. I mean, look at this Iran. Look at the war between. I'll give you a great example. Look at the war between Russia and Ukraine. Who in the world would have thought that it's going to go this long, right? Who would have thought that we'd still be in that jam? Nobody, right? People are still like, are we still in that war? Like, it's and again, I'm not. This is not political. It's just you can't predict the future. You don't know. It's like me. Hey, Raleigh, I think next month the weather's going to be 45 degrees, and you're like, no, I think it's going to be 75 degrees. And we don't know. We just don't know, folks. We just don't know. Okay. Anyways, sorry, I don't mean to talk your ear off about this, but it's
No,
important.
no, but the trap here is this is a lot of people want to speculate on the future, okay? They just want to,
Yeah.
and I don't know if
Yeah.
that's just human nature or whatnot. And your point is, look, set that aside. Price action is going to tell you everything that you need to know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And look, I like to speculate just as much as the next guy, but separate that. Put that in its own put it in its own bucket.
Mhm. I
You
wouldn't
want
put
to buy.
money on it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just
you want
me.
to yeah, you want to spend 30 cents on an option that's expiring tomorrow or I mean like in 5 minutes. God bless you. Lottery trades, but my point is don't put your hard-earned money into somebody's opinion. It's just that's very dangerous. It's a very dangerous proposition. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Put it into where people are actually putting their money. That's at least that's my advice. I mean, you could do whatever you want to do. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and but with that, I just want to say that this is a really difficult market. If anybody tells you that they can trade this market like this right now, it's a very, very difficult market to trade. Yes, we've been doing really well, and this is a really difficult market, like a really, really difficult market. Like it's. I was telling Matt this is one of the most difficult markets in I think the 20 years. Not because things are not moving up, but because we're having a lot of volatility and we're not going anywhere. That's
Yeah.
why. All right.
And
Yeah.
also, Roger, we know that the markets, many of them are at all-time highs. So, people are wondering, can they really go higher? Do we have something? Well, there's a lot that's happening.
There's a lot of fragmentation in the market. Is I
Hmm.
think I think what you're saying, and I'm just going to rephrase it. A lot of you've got the whole is AI overvalued, right? You've got the whole are we going to have are we going to attack Iran? You've got the whole there's a lot of question marks right now is what I'm trying to say. And when these question marks are doing, they're kind of pulling the market in all different directions. And we're seeing that being represented in the market. Usually things are not that. Usually, you got one thing going on or two things going on. Right now, you've got like six, seven things that the market has to digest, and that's not easy. It's not easy for people to make this. Imagine making
Right.
three or four hard decisions in 2 3 days. That's what the market's got to do right now. It's just not easy. It's not easy. You got to give the market. What I mean is give the market a little break and be patient. Don't think it has to happen now. There's no correlation between spending time in the market and making money. You know that. There's no correlation. Okay. So just, I need to tell people this, Raleigh, right now, because I know a lot of people, they get bored and they start trying to fill their time with inadequate trades. And I don't want you doing that.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Roger, I know when I used to work with people, well, we all know that people have money in their pocket and it's burning a hole. And
Yes.
this is the time when you have to have discipline. And the analogy I would make is let's say you're in a duck blind or you're hunting, okay? And nothing's happening. And you see something move, a mile away and you start
Right.
shooting. It's just
Yes.
kind of like, why?
Yes. Yeah.
You're
Like,
wasting ammunition.
yeah, exactly, exactly. That's actually, that is a really good analogy. That's exactly right, folks. Like, and so I'm going to give you my version of what you just said because I just use a different analogy.
Hmm.
And because someone told me this in my first year of law school, and he was a judge, very smart judge, civil procedure judge, a federal judge. And he said the way you could tell if somebody knows what they're doing is like when you have a refrigerator guy come to your house. The guy that doesn't know what he's doing, he's going to be doing this and doing that and taking this apart and bringing in like a million different tool sets. And the guy that knows what he's doing, he's going to come in, he's going to Okay, I got it. And then he's going to come in and just solve the problem right away. That's how that's how a good trader reacts. Like when there's nothing to do, there's nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? So just please be mindful of that. Be mindful. But the market is clearly looking for something right now. That I could tell you with 1,000% certainty because I could see that in the I could see that with my eyes in the trading action. The market is doing price discovery right now. Remember a minute ago, we were talking and I said right here the low from the previous. I said it'll probably just going to stay in this range. I drew this line extra right now, just in case it broke, but it held here, and you could see it. It's right at the VWAP. And when you see this kind of trading action, that's price discovery. The market's looking. But I'll tell you this: it's right now building a really good resistance level at 685.51 ish level. And if it breaks this level, the next level is 686. And today's high, the level today if we can break this level today, we are going to go higher. We are going to go higher for sure, for sure. If we can break that level right here, 685.85 is what we need to break. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and give you guys. I'm going to give you some stocks that I'm looking at, and then I want to talk. We got so many people sending me emails and asking me questions about Trading Zone Live that I figured I will answer some questions, fill in the blank, and we actually have 15 spots left, so that'll be the game of attack for today. Okay. All right. So let's look at the stocks on our watch list. Short side. Hewlett Packard. Man, look how it got slapped over here. Somebody really wanted to sell this stock at 1860, 1850 level, right around the VWAP, right there. You should make a note because this stock, there's some sellers here right there at that level. There's some serious sellers right here at that level. Whew. Okay, that's our first short on our list. And by the way, volume is increasing as it's going down. And it looks like, look, it was going sideways from here all the way to here, and now it's starting to go down again. You need to be able to recognize that with your eyes, not with technical indicators, with your eyes. Okay? The lowest risk opportunities occur when the short-term trend and the long-term trend align. Right? I'm going to keep saying that every day till you guys memorize it. The lowest, because I've been saying it every day, the lowest risk opportunities occur when the long-term trend and the short-term trend come together. Right here. Right there. Okay. All right, let's continue. Nice predictable stock too. BX. That's a nice one right there. That's a nice one right there. Look, Raleigh, well, look what we just found. Another short trend.
Another.
And look at what happened today.
That's beautiful.
Right off the 8-day. It is beautiful, you're right. It's very nice, actually. Stock is down really good. Yeah, I like that. Okay. ACN. Chopping, a little gappy. Down quite a bit. Did it have earnings? Yeah, I think it had earnings. The options are going to be a little too expensive. I would hold off for another day or two on this one. But that's a nice downtrend. CTSH. Nice downtrend. Broke this level just now. Broke this level. It broke this level. Yeah. It'd be better if it was also trading at that level. Oh, it is actually trading at that level. Yeah. It broke that level and it's trading at that level. What confused me was that the fact that it was a green candle. That's a nice breakdown right there. Okay, so this stock is still going sideways. Now, it may look like it's going down, but it's not. Still going sideways. But when it breaks down from here, so look. You guys need to see this. You need to be able to see this with your eyes without me pointing it out to you. Right there, right there, right there. I want you guys to become so good, and gals to become so good at being able to spot these things that nobody will be able to take this away from you. Look at that. You see that? See that? Do you see that? Do you see that? By the way, we're breaking the low right now. Let's see. Earnings are coming up, but that's a nice look. If you're scalping, that's a nice scalp right now. On a break. So look at the daily chart, look at the intraday chart. Breaking down in real time. Let's see. Let's see. Let's take a look-see here. I know I'm taking a long time on this, but I think it's worth it. What do you think, Raleigh?
I think so too. People are loving this.
All right, so let's take a look. Flut. Oh, I don't think Matt put my high volume candles on this one. Hold on. Where's my high volume candle? Oh, here they are. Here they are. See how many Pro Trader dashboards I have? Flut. I have a lot of Pro Trader dashboards. Not a lot of high volume candles. They're all here. All right. Still looks very nice. Not a lot of volume though. Nice, very nice. Okay. Next one. EXTR. Are you guys liking the stocks that I'm showing you right now?
They certainly are. And there's some questions, Roger, that came up, and you can address them now or maybe a bit later. But going back to BX, people are wondering, has that move already happened, or is there still more meat potentially on that bone?
BX? Here, where's my
That's where
TC?
we saw that beautiful move short.
Here, as long as it breaks. Yeah, it broke this, right? If it can break this low, I think there's a great move here. Look, there's nothing here till we get down here.
Hmm.
We got some room to go. Some high volume candles, but they're all over here. So you got more room to go. But I would
And a
want
high
to see
volume
more.
candle, Roger, that's a candle that's above the average, right?
Yeah,
When you see a
that's
white candle, it's just trading
yes.
above the average. Yep.
Yeah, that's 20 or 25% above the average. Not just above the average, like 25% above the average.
Cool.
Yeah. And I have the same ones right here on TC2 on Thinkorswim here. So
And people, I hope you understand that this is Roger's watch list, okay? He's not basically saying, hey, jump on these stocks at this point in time. He's saying they're on my watch list, they're setting up, he's sharing criteria with you. You can make your own decisions as to how you want to address these, but these are not stocks that Roger's saying trade this now. He's
no.
saying they're on my watch list, and here's why.
As a matter of fact, I really like how it's bottoming right now, this BX. So I wouldn't be doing anything till it breaks this level. I would
Mhm.
start looking at it once it breaks this level right here. That's what I would do, like 124.30. Set an alert for 124.30, and if it starts having volume around here and relative weakness, not relative strength, like right now, then it's a good short. These are stocks on my watch list. It's just FYI. Okay. EXTR. That's a beauty right there. Look at that.
Mhm.
It's a nice breakdown. Here, you're significantly below that level. On BX, you're kind of like toying with that level. And volume is good. Look how predictable the chart is, right? Nice and predictable. Okay, QTWO. I mean, I don't even know what this stock does. It's a tech stock, okay? Nice downtrend. Nice downtrend right here. And you're not below these levels yet. We just need to get below this level. You always want to be below the high volume level. Right there, 51.37. But look at the nice clean trend right here. Still choppy. This is still the short-term trend right here. Okay. Now let's look at the long side. Verizon breaks out, consolidates. Now it needs to break out again. Hasn't done it yet. That's why it's on my watch list. See that level right here? Hasn't broken this level yet. Hasn't broken. Yeah, be careful right now trading stocks like Tesla, like the mags. Be careful because the market's not doing anything. If the market's not doing anything, what do you think those stocks are doing? And this is just common sense. McDonald's. Hey, when all hell breaks loose, McDonald's is always there to save the day, right, Raleigh?
Absolutely, a Big Mac.
That's right. I always like the McRib too. I've always been a big fan of the McRib.
Yeah, that's a seasonal thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. My wife doesn't let me eat fast food, but I sneak one in there once in a while when she's not looking.
Exactly. And then there's barbecue sauce on your shirt, and she's going like, "What?"
We don't talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. McDonald's looks pretty good right here. That's an A line actually, but I'd like it to be like right now I would never take this because it's below the VWAP. I would take it right here above the VWAP.
And what's nice, folks, I hope you appreciate Roger's doing his primary analysis on the daily chart, and then he's quickly looking over to the right chart. That's the intraday chart.
That's right. That's right. KTOS. Nice move right here. Very nice move. And I think this is industrial defense stock. So obviously this is being driven by the Iran thing. Just something to keep in mind. It's a news driven play. And nobody knows what's going to happen with Iran, including Iran or USA right now. Philip Moore. Right now, believe it or not, this is the strongest stock in the market on a 5-minute chart. The strongest stock right now. Look, I'll show you. There it is. It goes back and forth. It just jumps back and forth, right? But now it's the second strongest stock in the market, MO. But that's not why I'm looking at it right now. There it is, the strongest stock again. There it is. Just flip to number one again.
Institutions are piling in.
Yeah, they're buying, which is not a great thing. That's a very defensive stock. Okay. But in the last 5 minutes, that's the strongest. That and this stock, GG. Oop. Look at the 5-minute chart. Look at this thing. Woo.
Oh, Gigo. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I digress. Let me go back to my list. Caterpillar. It just happened to be on my list and up there, so I looked at it. Caterpillar. I like Caterpillar. Very defensive stock. I actually wanted to do a bull put spread on this, but the options were too spready, according to Matt. Let's take a look. Oh, and they're awful. Awful. COP. Again, is this stock going to continue moving up? Well, it's been moving up pretty well, but it's also right now being driven by Iran for obvious reasons. So I'm not going to get into explaining it. Okay. You guys understand that. RTX, this is a defense stock and it's a very, very nice stock. I don't like day trading this stock, but it is a very good swing trading stock. And this stock is looking great right now. It's been moving sideways, but now it started moving back up again. It has to overcome this level right here, which it almost did. Anyhow, Johnson Johnson, really nice daily chart, like really, really nice daily chart. When is earnings coming out on this thing? I like this stock. Above the VWAP. The only concern I have is that this looks like it wants to come down here to the 8-day. But I like the stock. I like the stock overall. The only thing is it's kind of moving sideways right now. Want to give it a little more upside. I'm kind of just talking to myself. This is competing for the strongest stock right now, and that's what, a utility stock. Yeah, Edison. Yeah, that was one of the stocks that was up there when we were looking a few minutes ago. Okay, and then GE. I like GE. I like GE quite a bit. I almost bought it today, right off of the VWAP. Almost doesn't count, but I like G. I do like GE still, and it's above all this stuff now, and it is trending once again. I do like GE. All right, that is my list for today. Now,
Roger, if you've got a second, could you pull up BTI?
yeah, of course. If you want me to look at some stocks, I'll gladly do it. Yeah, this stock is pretty high on our list. It's like MO. It's like Altria. It's a
Okay.
defense stock, tobacco stock. When these stocks go up, that means we're in a stressful situation. But a stressful situation, Iran, tariffs, that's a stressful situation. We're not really in a stressful situation in terms of overall economy. I think that's fairly stable. In other words, we're not in a credit crunch. Folks, the worst thing that can happen in America, and this has been responsible for the last, I don't know, 7 market meltdowns, is credit crunch.
Credit crunch. Yep.
America does not tolerate credit crunches well at all. Wars, COVID, uh, bad earnings, credit crunch, credit crunch, credit crunch. When you have a credit crunch, that's everything. People get really nervous. When they start talking about banks defaulting, that's when people start getting nervous. Wars, I've seen so many bull markets and wars and attacks of not even, I mean, just look at Ukraine and
Russia. Yep.
yeah, how much of an impact did that have on the market, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions or anything else till we move on, Raleigh?
I think that's good.
Okay. All right. So I wanted to answer some questions about some folks were asking me again. So I want to just clarify this. So let me pull up my TC 2000. I mean my Thinkorswim here. So folks were asking me about E-mini versus the SPY. Okay. So I'm going to just explain this again. I want to be very general and very broad because there's just not much to explain. When we give trades in Trading Zone Live, we say buy and we say sell. There are several different ways to take advantage of those trades. And I mean several. You could trade the options on the SPY. Okay, like right here. Here's tomorrow's expiration. We're at 683.90. Oh, 684, right on the dot. Here's your 684 expiring tomorrow. They usually right around lunchtime. Tomorrow's expiration is right around $3. That's with implied volatility being at 20. If VIX was right now at 12 or 13, this would be $2. So they usually are between $1.80 and $3. Is that too much for a trade? No. And you could take advantage of the SPY doing that. Now, if you have a huge account, you can just buy the SPY at 683. You could, like a stock. This is a stock. You can buy it. It doesn't require any leverage, and you can buy it. And but let's say you don't have a huge account. You could trade an asset called ES or MES. Okay. Now you may be sharp and you might have realized that this chart and this chart are identical. Well, look at it. Take a good look at it, right? I mean, they're not identical, but they're 99% identical. For example, look at this price action. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 bars here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 bars here. You've got the low here with this bar. You've got the high with this bar. You could trade this off of this. As a matter of fact, this full-time job of this is to arbitrage every tick of this. Because you see, if this and this are out unaligned, you could, for example, let's say someone is selling these and buying these. This has to always mimic this. So they would arbitrage it. So what does is it allows you to trade the SPY without having to use $25,000 in your account as margin.
Right.
There is no $25,000 requirement to day trade MES or ES. So I want to be clear that you guys understand that. And again, I'm not telling you have to trade this. I'm telling you that if you don't like to trade options for $300, you have other choices. Here it is. Here's the other choice right here. And as you could see with your own eyes, it moves exactly with the SPY. This is the SPY. And see how it's coming off? See the reversal candle right here? See the reversal candle right here? They move tick for tick with each other. Just look at this and look at this. The only thing that's different is the numbers, okay? So this is being driven by, not being driven by, but you take advantage of the SPY of this. This and this are the same. This chart and this chart are the same. See, look, the same chart right here, SPY. This same chart, SPY. You take advantage of the SPY by trading the options. Tomorrow's expiration at the money. Or you take advantage by trading the E-mini. And the E-mini, you don't use the option. The E-mini, you actually use the E-mini. You rent it. You don't buy it, you rent it. And then what you do is, see, well, Roger, it has a whole different numbers. How do I? $5 a point for this baby right here? That's $5 a point. So from 68.70 to 68.75 is 5 points. 5 times 5 is $25. So if you buy it right here and you sell it right there, you make $25 because every point is $5. So this is 6,900. So 68.70, 6,900. This is 30 points right here. 30 point. Excuse me, I'm not 30 points. This is 68.80 right here. So this is 10 points. From here to here is 10 points. From here to here. From there, from this bar to this bar. From here to here. From here to here is 10 points. Okay? 10 points, $5 a point. So if you sold right here and you cover your short right here, you would have made $50 per contract. And the margin to borrow that contract is $50. So right here, you make 100% return on your money with one. Just went below it right there. So you would have made $50 right there. That's $50. Okay. Okay. Let's say now you don't like that one. You're a big money player. You like the big money. Okay, fine. You go right here. See this move right here? Well, remember it was $50 per contract. Well, this is $500 a contract. One contract. And how much is the security deposit for that? $500. So this move, you put $500 in, you short this right, you sell it right here, you cover it right there. And we just broke the low, today's low. And as a result, you make $50 a point. So 68.70 to 68.60. That's 10 points from here to here. 50 times 10 is $500. Too rich for your blood? I got you. You go back to this one. 70, 60, $5 per point. Nice and easy and very, very effective. Okay? Nice and easy and very, very, very effective.
So one quick question that came up here, Roger, people are wondering which has more leverage, do you think? Is it a SPY option, for example, or would it be the E-mini S&P or the micro E-mini S&P?
The E-mini has more leverage. The E-mini has more leverage.
I would agree.
Yeah. Just a little bit more, but it's got a little more leverage. Yeah. The E-mini has more leverage. Think about this, right? And there's no decay. You're not buying the options on the E-mini. You're just doing the E-mini. So there's no decay. So you can hold a position for 4 hours, and if it stays in the same spot, it's not going to go anywhere. If you buy an option, that decays, that expires end of the day, and which I would never do, but if you do that, your option's gonna be worth half. That's why I always say buy tomorrow's expiration, not today's. But again, my point is that just think about this right here. This move from here to here, we just witnessed it. It took one candle. That's 100% return on your money right there. And what most folks do is they don't buy the ES, they buy multiple MESs and then they buy like say 5 MESs, right? And then they'll sell a few, then they'll buy a few more back. They'll kind of rotate it that way. You buy all these at the market and you sell all these at the market. They are super, super liquid. I mean, look at these options. These are the options. Look, 574, 575, 278, 278. Sometimes they don't even have a spread. Sometimes you could just buy back and forth. I mean, if nobody does that, but you could do that. And E-minis are the same thing. Options on the SPY and E-minis are the most liquid contracts out there. So you don't really need to use limit orders. So when Matt and I send you an alert that says buy in Trading Zone, buy SPY, you buy the E-mini or you buy the option. I don't care which one you buy. But you just buy it at the market and then you sell it at the market. It should take you about 1 second to get that done. Maybe 3. But it should be very, 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 very quick. By the way, you notice how the market is coming down? ADD, so look. ADD is actually coming up, not down. So the market's coming down, but there's less stocks breaking down. It doesn't feel like a break. It doesn't feel like a real breakdown. It feels like chop chop. And look at the VOLD. See, it's not a clear direct line going down like it was yesterday, going up all day. That's not a run day. So just my 5 cents. We'll see where we go right now. I mean, we're down only half a point on the SPY, so nothing too much. And mags are down 0.35, so we'll see if sellers come in. We'll see if they decide to come in. But so far, I'm very happy that the market's been feeling like quicksand the last couple of days. Really feeling like quicksand. So I wanted to answer those questions, and then some folks are asking me how I draw these levels. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I draw these levels. These levels are very, very important. So what I do is I look at the previous days I look at the overnight market. You see this white shadow right here? This is the overnight market right here. Okay, that's the overnight market. And what I look at is I look at the overnight high. I look at the overnight low. Those are 2 major points that I look at. Then I look at double tops and double bottoms. Okay? When I could find double tops and double bottoms, in a nutshell, that's where I or staircases. In other words, where the SPY goes like this and then just consolidates and becomes a flag and flags around areas. Basically, I want to put support and resistance around areas that have a lot of slaps. They're getting slapped a lot. Basically, we don't want to go higher. Like this is a very strong area right here. It's a very strong area. This right here was a pretty strong area till this broke it and broke down. So we got to be really careful right now. We got to be really careful. The next level is going to be the 100-day moving average, which is at 681 pretty much. That's the next major level we have, probably around somewhere around here, I guess. Yeah, somewhere around there. Be careful. We don't have a lot of stuff here. We don't have a lot of stuff here. You could see it right here. So if this breaks, it can come off. Okay, which will be great for us because then we'd have day trading liquidity. I don't care which way market goes. I just care if it goes up or down. So again, overnight high, overnight low, double tops, double bottoms, and then stair step areas. All right. What do the letters after the MES represent, and which one should be selected? Your broker should be doing it automatically for you. That's the expiration dates. They expire 4 times a month. You shouldn't have to worry about it with most of your brokers.
Yeah,
They
I
should
mean,
do it
correct.
automatically.
4 times a year, not four
Yeah, four
times a
times a
month.
year. Four
Yep.
times a year. Yeah. Yeah. So, for example, let's see if I can remember it. It's been a while. Z is December. H is March. U is September. And it's been 2 decades, Raleigh. Okay. So let's see. December is Z. September is U. M, right? M. Am I missing one? U,
I don't know,
E.
Roger. I gave up on
You
that
don't
so long
remember
ago.
either.
I like when they automatically roll, and I just go with let the
Yeah,
broker handle it.
but I actually do remember them. Z is
Robert says
December.
it's HMUZ.
H. Yeah, HMUZ. That's it. Yeah. I got the H, I got the U, and I got the Z. I didn't get the M.
Yeah, M is
So I got
June.
most
Yep.
of them. I got most of them.
You did.
Robert,
You did. You get a
I
lot of
did.
partial credit.
I get most of them. It's been about 20 years since I had to use that. Most brokers just automatically do it. And then the other day is the year. Stacy, we just literally explained it. It's futures. Future. You really don't need to know this, but every
Oh,
futures contract back in the day, you needed to know this because when you wrote the ticker out, you had to write the ticker, and then you had to write the month, and then you had to write the last two symbols of the year. You don't have to do that anymore. The brokers do it for you automatically. So it's just the ticker symbol, which is MES or ES, depending on if you want the big daddy or the little one. Yeah, I still remember it after 20 years. It's like the strings on the guitar. EBDGE, EBDGAE. Yeah, EBDGAE. I remember that. I got a pretty good memory. I got a pretty good memory, Raleigh. Got a
yes, you
pretty
do.
I got a pretty good memory. Okay. All right. So with that said, does anybody have any questions before I move on? And this will be
Yeah,
the
there was a question that came up from Sean a little bit earlier, and some other people were wondering. Just this is a general question. They were noting that the airlines and the auto stocks are down today. And the question was, Roger, is there a correlation between airlines and autos? And do you have any opinion as to what's going on there? Because they seem
um
to be moving lower than the market, generally speaking. That was the comment that was made.
there's no direct relationship, but there may be some indirect relationship, and it actually may be related to seasonality, if you want to know the truth.
Hmm.
But no, there's no direct. Transports are mostly commercial vehicles and things like that. I think it's just a
Right.
coincidence because of earnings.
Yeah, we noted that Carvana took a big hit,
Yeah,
coming into the
yeah,
market, and I think Avis also, but I wasn't aware that airline stocks were moving lower either.
yeah. But again, let's not. I don't want to make something out of out
Good
of.
point.
Uh,
Good point.
of
Good. Thanks for the question.
yeah, it's great. Good question. Good question. Folks, the key is not to get too hung up in fundamentals. That's just the only thing. But this isn't really fundamental. All right, now, folks, we had so many people interested in this program yesterday and we had so many questions that they asked me today if I could do it one last time. I said, I told folks that yesterday was the last day, and they said, well, we still have blame it on the They literally said this. They said blame it on the copywriter. So I'm blaming it on the copywriter, and we do have 15 spots left. Now we only have 433 people in this room. This is going to be a lot of fun. So this is going to explain to you the genesis of our day trading alert program. Now, before I begin, I also want to say one more thing because a lot of folks yesterday got confused, and I don't know why. We have Alpha Zone Pro. That is a software program. That's this right here. This right here. And this is a software that we use to trade indexes. Then we have Trading Zone Live. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Trading Zone Live is an alert service. Like what Manny just said. Manny says, which is better? How can one be better than the other, Manny? One is an alert service and one is a software. Do you see my point? So let's not confuse them. Let's make sure we know what I'm going to close the chat at this point, but let's make sure that we're all on the same page and we're all referring to the same thing. So I'm going to be explaining to you guys the basis, the genesis, and trade examples from an alert service right now. We have 15 spots left. This is the alert service where Matt made 25 points day trading the SPY in the last 2 days, which is crazy. I mean, crazy. When I say crazy, I mean once a year kind of a thing. Okay,
Yes.
crazy, crazy. It's
Now,
don't
folks,
expect that every day.
yeah, and I just want to remind those that are on YouTube that are watching this presentation, folks, great time to come over to the Zoom room for the balance of this presentation. So from that perspective, if you're on YouTube, please come over to the Zoom room for the rest of this presentation. And Roger, I'll stop that stream so that the decks are cleared to go forward. Folks, the reason why we